Everybody, welcome back to Big Mike's Garage. Here we are in Dad's garage again. Today we're working on the Malibu. We're going to install these Viking shocks. They're Warrior double adjustable shocks, and we're going to install these bad boys. I think you can see them right there. See them? We're going to install them on Ron Burgundy 1980 Malibu Landau. What the goal is here is to get a little bit better 60-foot time at the drag strip. Right now I've just been using these regular old, show them to you right here, I think, there you go, Gabriel Ultras. Those have been working pretty good, honestly. I was running a set of KYB gas adjust, and they rode really good, and they were handled good for the highway, but just not the best for the drag strip because they got a little bounce. So with these Vikings here, I'm going to be able to adjust my rebound and compression dampening, so the front end will come up a little bit at the drag strip. I'll be able to control how much comes up in the front end and how much rebound, how fast the front end comes down, because that's a problem now. It goes down and bounces and blah blah. And then we got the rear ones too, so we'll help that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on these. I started it last night, and I wasn't really gonna tape this, but I had to go back into town. I was gonna just whip it out in a couple hours, and it turned out I need a little bit of extra help. I'll show you what I got to do first to get these in here, because I had them kind of trial fit last night. So underneath here, and I don't know if I was going to show real good, but once I get the shock up in there, just a little bit, the knobs want to touch there. So I had to go home and get a die grinder, and I got some different hardware to try. I wanted a little bit better washers underneath them and stuff. But so I hit that with a die grinder just a little bit. I'm going to test fit it and see if they fit. Then I'm going to go ahead and that was crazy. I'm going to go ahead and get them installed and see how it works, and then I'll come back with you. I'd tape while we're doing it, but I still don't have my tripod out here with me, and I like to listen to music, and YouTube doesn't like that, so I'll be back. All right, so we're back here. Well, I got both shocks in and loosely bolted in from the bottom. I did add an extra washer that Viking doesn't tell you to underneath the nut, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't always follow the instructions. The next problem we have here is we're going to have to, I don't know if you can see this very well, probably not, but see down in there? I'm going to have to get a wrench on those nuts or those bolts so I can tighten the nut up from the bottom. So that's the next challenge. I'm going to work on that. And when you come back, I'll have it done. All right, well, that escalated quickly. Yeah, I just kind of kept working on the shocks, and I got them done. So I'm going to walk around now and kind of show you guys what happened, walk you through it, maybe any little tips or tricks, whatever things I came into, issues I had. This is not a how-to video. I don't know how to do this. I'm not an expert, but this is the way I did it. So here you go. All right, we'll start in the front. So I think we already went over this, but to get the front ones in, really the biggest trick was I really just had to hit it with a die grinder, the A-arm, just a little bit on each side so the knobs could get up in there. And then I had to reach up in here with a combination wrench to hold the bolt. That wasn't too bad. And then I know because I set them to the settings that Viking wants you to have them for drag racing. So what I did was the rebound would have been, or the compression would have been really super stiff. So I got them to the right spot, and then I set the knobs, and then I put them in. So that worked out pretty good. Got both sides done, shiny parts on a junky car. So there you go. And then in the rear was a little more challenging. Well, actually not. They look good though. In the rear, because I've got that anti-roll bar, and with the S60, I really don't have a good spot to jack the car up. You can see the roll bar is like right underneath where you'd put the jack. Can't really jack here because the jack slides off. You can't really do it there. And then with the anti-roll bar also, these shocks are just a hair shorter than those stockish shocks I had. So I wasn't able to, by the time I jacked the rear end up and the ARB was doing its thing, the car wanted to come off the hoist in the rear. So I just lowered it down and did it all on the floor. It wasn't much fun. Really the only modification, they fit really good even with the exhaust, springs, everything. with the anti-roll bar. Let me go back in here and zoom out a little bit. Everything fits really good. The only thing I had to do was drill out the upper mount holes in the frame up there because it's 13 millimeter bolts from the factory. So yeah, so that's it. So Viking shocks installed. Hey, I got big boy shocks now. I never had them before, so it should be cool. We'll see if it helps that 60-foot time out at the drag strip. I might take a little bit of footage of taking her for a little test drive here in a bit after I change my shirt. Nice humidity in Wisconsin. All right, talk to you later. All right, here we are. So doing a little test drive with the new Viking shocks installed, double adjustables. I set the settings on the shocks, compression and rebound. I think it was 12 compression, 2 rebound on the front. I think they wanted 14, but I backed it off to 12 just for a little street driving. Might crank them back up at the drag strip. We'll see how it does. And then the rear, I think it was 2 compression, 8 rebound. So ride's pretty good. Take off here. Not too bad. Really don't notice much of a difference on the street with the street tires. We'll give it a little launch here. I'm kind of rolling a little bit, but yeah, so you just don't get enough traction on the street to really tell. But overall, the ride quality is pretty decent. I thought it was going to ride really rough or something like that because of all the compression dampening in the front, but not too bad. I mean, you can tell the difference between this and the Gbody Ultras that I had on before, but really not bad at all. This is a pretty smooth country road, but this gets a little rougher up here, I guess. It's a firm ride, but it's not wallowing all over. Totally drivable. I think the big difference is going to come at the drag strip at the launch when the front end wants to come up, and it won't do hopefully it won't do all that bouncing or dancing around right when it comes off the line. Get a better 60-foot time, and hopefully that'll add up to a little bit better ET and mile an hour at the end of the big end of the track. We'll see how it does. Yeah, see, this is a little bit rough here, but not bad at all. So far, really good. I want to thank Alex at Trick Chassis. For setting me up with these shocks. He's a Viking dealer. If you need anything Viking or any suspension parts for your Gbody, check out trickchassis.com. Alex will help you out. Anything from 9-inch rear ends all the way to suspension parts. F-body, Gbody, A-body, S10 stuff. I think he even does some B-body, some of the bigger ones, certain years. So yeah, but overall, Viking shocks, dual adjustable. I'll give you more reports after we get to the track and give a full report then. Headed to the track this coming weekend. And once we get there, hopefully I'll have somebody get some videos and see what kind of difference it makes. All right, see you next time.